you guys? Happy Tuesday. It's time for another episode of Anything But Average, Achieving Success in Life. If things look a little bit different, it's because I'm having technology problems, which if anyone knows me, knows that's nothing new in my life. So thank heavens my laptop was on the desk, otherwise I couldn't get on. It's crazy. Hi, Dustin.
How you doing, Tricia?
I'm doing good. Thank you for being here with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
You real estate agents and business owners that are out there, y'all need to be paying attention to Dustin because he's got quite a story to tell, a couple of them actually, but he is just highly engaged in helping team leaders, broker owners, people really make a mark in real estate, really make a name for themselves and help people have an abundant life. And so, Dustin, let's give a little bit of backstory about you. Can you let everybody know, how long you've been in the business, where you are in the world, and kind of what led you to where you are, please?
Well, I'm out of Zurich, Ontario, which is on Lake Huron. I live in a little stone cottage on the lake. My main operating territory with me, my team is out of London surrounding area, but really we take care of a lot of southwestern Ontario, and that's in Canada, by the way. Been running high performance sales teams for about 20 years, and I've been a real estate broker for about 10. And within the first year of becoming a licensee, I started up my own brokerage with a business partner, and we grew that and built that and carved out some serious market share. Recently just sold that. So now started over from scratch with EXP January 1st.
That's crazy. Okay. Yeah. So stop right there. Have you always been in Canada this whole time?
I do travel a lot actually.
But as far as like real estate goes?
Yes. As far as real estate, I've been primarily, I've only been in Canada. Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. So describe, because of course we don't know, what is like a typical market for y'all there? Is it seller's market traditionally, buyer's market? What is the norm for y'all?
Well, we've had we've had some ups and downs over the last 10 years, but let's give you the interest rates are so low. It's a seller's market hardcore right now. It's very similar to a lot of places in the States. Home prices have literally doubled in the last 5 years, doubled in 5 years. That's like just a year over year monthly average. We just did our stats the other day for the team, and we're up 28% year over year from last month over month from last year. So it's nice. It's crazy. There's no inventory, right? And by the time you list it, it's insane. We're holding offers. We're no offers for a week, and it's a huge a bidding war typically for most buyers right now.
So here in Texas, because I believe all this protesting, all this weird crap that's going on in some of the other states, we have an influx of people moving here, moving their companies, moving all kinds of everything here, their whole families, everything, just to get out of like California, Washington, New York. There's a lot of that going on. Are you seeing any of that heading into Canada?
We're seeing an influx of Americans coming into Canada, yes, for sure, and a lot of them are playing that fun joke. They're just escaping all the politics and everything else that's going on. But what we're actually seeing is high density area, people in high density areas moving to low density areas, and it's prolific. One of our major city centers is Toronto, another one's Vancouver, and Calgary is another big one in Canada as well. And we're seeing a lot of people that they just don't want to be in that congestion anymore. They don't want to be in the ones that are always perpetually in lockdown because it keeps on resurging and things like that. So they're moving into lower density areas, but the other part of it is that it's an economic side of it where they're really cashing in on some serious equity. Like the home prices have doubled in 5 years. So a lot of these people have an insane amount of equity. They're able to buy twice the house for cash and still have money left over to put into investments. A lot of people are retiring early.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy? And then people are working from home now. It's like, this is a whole weird world.
Oh yeah, not only are they're selling their expensive home and moving into something less expensive, more home. But now they're getting to work from home. They get complete freedom, and a lot of people are buying houses that are really allowing them to live their entire life right from their home. That's their vacation, that's their work, that's their living, all at the same time. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of that too.
I think with COVID, it kind of was a wake-up call for so many people that life was really good for a while, and everyone was on cruise control, and all of a sudden it's like, well, boom, oh, no, you're not, And so people are freaking out. They want a simpler life. I don't want this crap to happen to me again, Well,
yeah, there was a major trend for people to move into work from home anyways. Like that's actually why I sold my shares in my last brokerage. We had I just wanted to get rid of the heavy operational infrastructure and things like that, and move into a more virtual environment, because that's where the world is going, right? And a lot of people were starting to go into that direction anyways, and then COVID hit, woke everybody up, and just said, if you want to keep on working, you might as well be able, you might have to do it virtually in a lot of cases. So, and now that Pandora's box is open, people just don't want to go back. It's like, wait, I like working from home. This is nice. It's nice to have the flexibility, nice to spend more time with my family, nice to vacation at home. So, people are buying pools and hot tubs and, doing up their backyards. And it's kind of a neat thing. It's a really neat thing to see.
So being in the industry as long as you have, naturally, when you started out, what were some of your challenges? Because I know you had a kind of a rocky beginning, didn't you?
When I first started in real estate?
Yeah.
Like a decade ago, the market, no, I didn't have a rocky beginning, but it was a balanced market. I think the biggest challenge that we had at the time when we first started was the days on market. Inventory was easy to get at that point in time, but then you'd have a cost analysis situation where you're dealing with your listings, and do we take, what kind of listings do we take? Because you've got your setup costs, but then you also have your carrying costs of listings, especially if you're marketing consistently, if you're staging your homes and things like that. So every market has its own nuances, but back then we just had to manage our cash flow because listings were easy to get. They weren't easy to sell. So yeah, it was, you can get your commissions eaten up like an alligator.
Yes, you can. And for you, getting your license and then only having it a year before opening your own brokerage, that's kind of a crazy move, isn't it? Most people don't do that.
Yeah, well, crazy is my middle name. No,
that's crazy.
Right. People don't normally do that. But when I got into real estate, I've been running high performance sales teams for a long time. And I was dealing with, I was fixing and flipping properties, and I got my license simply to save money on real estate fees at the time. And then I learned that I really loved it, and I love serving other people and helping them grow. But when I got into the industry, it wasn't so that I could have a career selling homes for the rest of my life. It was to actually build a real business. And that's what I specialize in. That's why I coach teams, and that's why I help people. It's how to turn your license into a real business that pays you, continues to pay you, allows you to take time off, vacation when you want, come back and your business is bigger. That's my specialty. So I got into the industry specifically with the foreknowledge that I'm building a business around my license. I'm not in it just to sell homes. I want to sell a lot of homes.
Mm-hmm. And so in your brokerage before, did you have your own high performance team running there?
Yeah. The whole brokerage was it was a boutique brokerage. I started it from scratch, with a business partner from nothing. And we built it. And any small brokerage, it's not a franchise, or even any franchise brokerage, essentially anytime that you have a group of people all working together on the same brand, it's a team in my mind. So we grew that from nothing to over 60 agents. And I think my personal best record as CEO my last year was 840 trades. So
nice.
Yeah, sold over $1 billion worth of real estate, so lots of fun. But again, it was all about approaching my license from the perspective that I wanted to build a business around it.
So in the beginning days of that, what do you think were some of the biggest challenges?
Mindshare, just getting mindshare, getting into the marketplace where you had all these big dogs and these, the old school brokerages, the 1980s business models that had, some serious roots in marketplaces, and to have enough marketing out there, have enough signs on lawns, success stories, sold testimonials, that kind of stuff really drove the market share. But we had to go after it. We had to get the mind share first. So that was the biggest challenge. That's actually why I do this, is for exactly the same reason, is to help people generate mind share, which delivers the market share that they need to run their business off of.
Mm-hmm. So looking back on all of that, and now looking at the real estate industry in 2020, what do you see as some of the biggest differences?
The biggest difference is, when I first started, Mindshare was through advertising. It was almost all advertising. The internet was still there and it was prolific, but not nearly where it is today. And it wasn't. It was really just about getting ads out there, buying paper ads and radio ads and some online ads and things like that. But because social media wasn't like part of our DNA at the time, like it was there, but it wasn't like it is now. Mm-hmm. The biggest difference is, if you want mindshare, you got to be all over social media. You got to be visible, extremely visible, and you have to create authority, as much authority as you possibly can in your marketplace, so that people start walking through the door. because otherwise the old school business model, it still works, like door knocking and cold calling and flyers and things like that. It still works, but it's now only a component of a much larger marketing picture, much larger branding picture. And that branding picture is all online. It's all you, Tricia, as the attractive character, me as the attractive character in our businesses, attracting those people to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big difference.
It is completely different. I think back of it, like when I started, it was in 92. We used key maps and pagers. I was talking to a lady about it this morning, and I was like, and she has a house that could be a little bit challenging to sell. And I told her, a million years ago, maybe this would have been a lot harder to sell, but I'm gonna tell you what, marketing is what's going to get your house sold, period.
It's true. It's the big differentiator too. Like, just the other day, like we sold a property on our team that had listed last year in the top of the market, and they just simply weren't able to get the kind of offers they were looking for. And they were underbid like crazy. And just this year, with a ton of marketing behind it and packaging and positioning the property properly, we were able to get $100,000 over what they got last year as the highest offer. And
nice.
and it's all marketing, it's all visibility, it's all positioning, all of it. I
would imagine that, especially there, you probably have a lot of competition, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
I can only imagine. Here in Houston, I do too, so it's got to be similar.
Yeah, it is. I think we're sitting on, like, we've got about 500,000 people in my main target area. 500,000 people as far as a population, got 1,800 realtors. I know that in like Toronto, in a big city center, and I'm sure you've got that in Houston and other big city centers as well. But the population, what is it, 6-7 million or something? We got 60,000 realtors, like 60,000 realtors. Like, come on. It's crazy. And because the price points are so high, a lot of them do 3, 4, 5 deals a year, and they're totally happy because they're making 6 figures just off of 4 or 5 deals, right?
Yes. See, here in Houston, it's not so much. Like, there's areas here in Houston where average price point is $275, So big difference.
That is a big difference. That was the price point when I first started it. When I first started, my average was $230,000, $240,000.
Really?
Yeah, and that's and I know for a lot of areas that's like, oh, that's all right, that's average. But what's really nice about the current market and sellers market and the low interest rates is driving the prices up. So, today the market average right now is about 480 in my market, and because of specialized marketing, branding, and advertising that we do as a team, my team average is actually 620.
Nice.
Yeah.
So your team that you're running, how many agents are on your team?
I have 8 right now. So I started in January again from 0, and then built it. We've got 8 right now. We're just starting to get into expansion mode, just starting to get into the space where we can start bringing on some more team members and open up some new territories. But yeah, that's where we're at right now.
So before we got on, you told me you were going to share a story with me. Why don't you do that one? I'm anxious to hear what you're going to tell me.
Oh, the story. Well, I kind of alluded to it already, but the main thing is, I sold my brokerage, I sold my shares. I saw the next biggest disruptor come down the pipeline, and that's EXP Realty. We're in it, like we're talking about it. We're both in it. And at that point in time, I had to decide, like, do I double down on what I was doing before, and do I jump in with both feet? And because I was the broker owner, I was a shareholder and an executive at that company. I actually had to come over from scratch. I had non-solicit, non-compete, all that kind of stuff, just as you normally do in a business partnership. So I literally had to leave everything behind and start from scratch all over again. And I guess the main message that I want to tell people about that, don't be afraid of restarts. Don't be afraid of, if you're unhappy where you're at right now, let's say you're at a brokerage and you're just trying to figure out how to take your license to the next level. A platform like this is something that really helps you build a business around your license. And just have a lot of clarity about who you are and what kind of business you actually want to run, because you literally have the opportunity right now to build and architect a business that delivers the lifestyle of your dreams, that delivers the lifestyle that you want to live, how you want to do business, right? So for me, it's all, I love to travel. I love to coach. I love to teach. I love to help people grow. I love building organizations and high performance sales teams. So everything that I did starting from scratch was with that end result in mind, that I wanted to build a business that scales, that delivers that freedom of time and money. But I also wanted to help other people do exactly the same thing. Because my philosophy has always been, I don't want to make money off people. I want to get rich with my friends. Right?
Yeah, I love it. Me too.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I resonated so much with your message and invited you actually to be a special guest speaker at Mega Momentum, because that's, it's I like to surround myself with servant leaders, because that's how I believe that our industry is going to be able to get better, how we're able to serve new people that are coming into the industry, how to level up everybody's game and increase the level of the level of value that we deliver to our consumers. I think it's incredibly important. And the only way we can do it is to share.
Oh, yeah. And so I want to see if your mindset's the same as I'm sure it is, but I'm going to ask you. So as broker owner, and me, of course, former broker owner of my own brokerage, did you find that there were a few people that you could really collaborate with, and it was kind of lonely a little bit?
It was freaking lonely, man. It really was. It really was. Especially if you're carving out market share, if you're successful as a team leader, the last thing that other team leaders want to give you is advice and help. They don't want to help you carve out more market share, especially if you're eating their meal. So it's like, hey, Mr. Broker Owner, can you give me advice? I know that I'm eating your meal right now. I know that I'm eating your cheese, but you know what? Can you give me advice so I can eat up more market share? It never happens, right?
No.
So yeah, it was really lonely. And that's one of the reasons why I was very, very focused on delivering value first to other people, because I think that money and freedom and everything else that you want out of your business is a complete byproduct of doing all the right things and sharing what you know and collaborating and helping people grow.
Big time. And so for you to make that decision to leave all that you had built and created and move over, that had to have been pretty hard.
Oh my God, my last day, I couldn't even, I had a speech, I had a whole speech ready to go. I'm like, all right, we're going to vote. And I was like, no, I was bawling like a baby.
Oh my God.
Your business is your baby, and you put everything you got into everything into it. And it was an incredibly emotional decision to make, because to say, you know what, this is no longer the vehicle. It's no longer the vehicle to get, Dustin and my friends, family, the people that I really resonate with to that level, to that goal. And yeah, it was a tough decision. It was painful and tough, both.
How long did it take you to realize that you were ready to make the move? How long do you think you stood about it?
Well, it was a couple of years, but really, I had seen EXP before. I actually say this in my opportunity meeting when I talk to people that are prospective team members as well, that I was looking at it about 3 years ago. I was looking at it specifically as a top, one of the top 5 growers in North America. And I was wondering, okay, what are they doing? How are they doing it? What's the special sauce? Why are realtors joining them in droves? Because I wanted to R&D it. I wanted to rip off and duplicate and insert it into my own business, right? And so I started really looking at it, and then I got distracted with a whole bunch of other things. And when I saw it again, I had actually gone to a meeting, to a lunch and learn, and to learn a little bit, and saw a special guest speaker, and I was reintroduced to it again, and it just made so much sense at the time for me to really dig into it. It only took me about 30 days to figure out, is definitely the right move. I've got to jump in with both feet, and it was time.
Yep. And now, like for me, it will be, it actually was just 2 years in October, just hit.
Really?
But yeah. So for me, when everyone was talking to me about it, and Mike and Jay are dear friends of mine, that was my hook, because I trusted them, and I do trust them. And so for me, it was opening all the right doors. I never really looked at the stock. That wasn't a thing for me. I didn't care about the stock, because I'm a hustler. I'm always going to be making money. And so that wasn't anything I was really worried about. But let me tell you something, like last week when I saw everyone posting pictures of the stock, I was like, I need to go, I guess, and pay attention to what this is doing. And I went, I was like, holy crap. That's a nice surprise.
I know my dad joined as well. Like my whole family are realtors, right? And they all got their license, joined my old company, and they're all over at EXP with me now. And he's like, "Do you know how much stock you have?" I'm like, "No, I don't pay attention to that. I'm just like grinding out and building my team." He's like, "No, you should check. You should check your stock." Like, oh my god, it's insane. It definitely is insane.
And so, like here in Houston, again, because we have so much competition, I tell everybody now, I'm like, this is a no-brainer. I mean, like for those people out there that they bitch and they moan about, oh, it's an 80-20 split and there's a 16 cap. It's like, you won't pay 16 grand a year to freaking make stock like this. Are you out of your mind?
Oh my god. You know what I love it when people tell me that. I'm like, oh, you're concentrating on the split. Oh, that's good. So that's all you're ever going to get is a split. How about you concentrate on the other revenue streams that make it so that the EXP actually pays you to work there, right? How would you like to get paid to work there? Not just a wash, not just get rid of your split entirely, the 16K and cap and all that kind of stuff, and you get that back in stock. I mean, get revenue share and get stock and get paid to work there, get team income happening, mentor some people, right? There's 3 other revenue streams that literally pay you to work there, and before you know it, they offset. So anybody that's arguing about an 80-20 split, oh my god, give your head a shake. You got to pay attention to the other revenue streams.
See, here we've got other companies that are still in existence, which I don't know why. Like Century 21 is still here. It's like laughable though, right?
Why are you still there?
I don't know. And you know, there's Gary Green still, and there's Berkshire Hathaway, and these people take a lot bigger split than 80-20. And it's like, what kind of value do they provide? Number one, you're not going to get any stock that's whatsoever. And what kind of value? Like I tell everybody, it's opened so many doors. Like you, now I have you in my life. You know, I didn't know you before, and all of our other friends across the nation that are like top team leaders, broker owners, these are people making it happen. When you put that many people together under one brokerage, it's like, watch out, you know?
It's not just watch out, it's wildfire. It's like a pouring gas right on the fire. And it, you know what you said earlier about growing with people, like we have a hashtag that I use, who you grow with matters, right? And it's so incredibly important, because I was looking at EXP before I joined. I was like, oh, it's a wonderful looking company, it's a fast grower and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, they have rev share, and oh yeah, they have all these tools and tech and everything else, and the growth model's there. I see that in the stock awards, it's great. But who you grow with truly does matter. You can have a bright, shiny, beautiful company, but if the people inside are not, if they're not really genuine, if they're not really, you know, people that are truly stepping up to the company's core values and living the company's core values, then, you know, as bright and shiny as the company can be, it's simply just smoke and mirrors. It's a house of cards. And so the biggest concern for me before I jumped over were, are the people as cool on the other side of the veil, right? And there it is 10 times. It's more than I ever expected, because it's all people making friends and building business together. And people are like, ask me, it's like, why are EXP people so happy? And it's like, you have no idea. 1, we're getting rich with our friends. 2, we're getting rich. And 3, it's so much, we're just having so much fun doing it, right?
Never before can you put that many like-minded people together for the same cause in the same industry. It's insane. I love it. It's like there's no better place to be.
Yeah, it's an echo chamber.
It is. And like you were talking about, who you grow with matters. I have a saying that I tell my agents here all the time. It's like, pay attention who you align yourself with, pay attention who you're paying attention to. You know, here, some of our competitors, they're real big about, you know, they have classes in their training room, which we do too. But it's like, okay, who's teaching in your training room? Usually it's somebody that was unsuccessful in real estate and they're just a wage earner now because they couldn't do it in real estate. So is that who you're going to pay attention to? Somebody that couldn't do it on their own, you know? What kind of success story is that?
No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, case in point, I decided that I was only going to start teaching people how to become successful again after I proved it again that I knew what I was doing and built a team around it. And now I'm doing the challenge after I actually did all those things, because the last thing that you want is some guy to come up to you and say, oh, you know, those that can't do teach, right? Well, no, I teach what I do.
Mm-hmm. You're in the trenches.
That's right. In the trenches. I'm not just saying, oh yeah, I'm sitting in the class and teaching what I did 20 years ago, because we all know coaches like that, or even coaches or people that are like, they're teaching you how to become successful and they never sold a home in their life.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
Ever. Come on.
Tell you how to do it, right?
That's right.
And how to do over 100 of them a year, and your whole team.
and how to do it when you had to fight and claw every single inch of the way, right?
Yes.
That builds skill. That builds.
You know what's I think is funny is, and only broker owners can relate to this, is that people think the broker owner model is so profitable. They don't have a clue how much it costs to run a brokerage and how much we actually give away and how much it's not profitable, and it's like, for it to be highly profitable here anyway, you have to have a huge agent count, and they actually have to be selling houses, and the average agent doesn't. They may sell 6 or 8 a year. It's like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Or even they're sitting on your roster and there's 0 heroes, right? They actually cost money and they don't bring any revenue to the team. So, most people don't understand this, is that most team leaders, most teams and most small brokerages are actually not profitable.
Correct.
The owners are out there grinding out sales just to be able to float the expenses to keep a team around. And so it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's, if you're going to build a team, build a profitable team. Right.
Boom. And with your thing that you're doing, so let's talk about your challenge, because I know we're like mid-month, right? Are you midway through it now?
We're almost, we're actually on day 13. We're on day 13 right now.
Tell everybody about the challenge and the name of it and what inspired it.
Well, it's called the Mega Momentum Challenge. You can see it right behind me here. So it's launch a 6-figure real estate income in only 30 days. And you can do that. All you have to do is start accumulating a little over $8,000 a month in revenues coming in, and you've got 6-figure income. But it takes a tremendous amount of visibility and authority in the marketplace to be able to build up that revenue, that stream of income that's consistently coming in. And you consistently have to do that. So this all started back in the day. Like, again, I've been running sales teams for a while. So I always do a challenge like this, especially for new people joining my team or newer agents or agents that are struggling a little bit and maybe not hitting the income goals that they're looking for. And I found that it's simply because they don't know what to do. Right? They just don't know what to do. And it's easy for a broker owner or a team leader to say, oh yeah, call your friends and call your family and go door knocking and do this. But that's not enough. They need, a lot of people, they need daily direction and daily step-by-step, paint by numbers on exactly what to do every single day to start building up that momentum, because you need momentum for you to carry forward that consistent income, right? So I created the 30-day challenge specifically to help people gain visibility and authority in the marketplace, to identify who their dream customer is, and to get those dream customers start walking through the door. So as opposed to getting, a bunch of Facebook leads and things like that, and it takes you 15 times to grind out a phone call to get them to light up and for them to actually engage with you, I'm talking about people literally calling and saying, hey, I've been watching for the last couple of months and I want you to list my property. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. That's the sweet dollars right there. That's easy money. It's fast money. It's very, very cheap money for you to be able to make in your business. So that's what the 30-day challenge is all about, doing exactly that. We're actually on day 13. And every single day that I do a blast off call every morning at 9 a.m., every day I ask for wins, right? I ask everybody to share your wins, share your wins. I want to hear about all the different things that you're doing. And at the beginning of the challenge, their wins were, I did a Facebook Live and I did this. Do you know what their wins are starting to be now? They're starting to say, oh, I signed a buyer contract. I just went out on a listing appointment and I did this and I did this and I did this. And I'm like, yeah, production, right? Now you're starting to get production from the effort that you put into your business every single day. That's what it takes to build momentum. You know it, I know it, but you know what? Most realtors out there, they don't actually know that, and that's okay. But that's what this challenge is all about, is to help you figure it out. Give you paint by numbers.
How many agents do you have in the challenge right now?
I started this off with a small group of core people that were really interested in building their business. So I've got 70. I've got 70 people taking the challenge right now. Yeah.
So do they check in with you every day?
Every day. Every day. Actually, I do a point system as well. We're gamifying this thing. We gamify going to work every single day. So I established a point system based off of activity that you put into your business. So if you do a Facebook Live and you tag Mega Momentum Challenge in it, we'll be able to see that. We'll give you points, and we do a point leaderboard. So now we're getting people climbing the ladder just to get the points. But in order for you to get the points, you actually have to take action in your business.
You have to do the work.
You got to do the work.
So does it have to be a new agent that can get in on this challenge, or can anyone get in?
No. This is basically launching a 6-figure real estate business in the next 30 days. But if you're a seasoned veteran, you can launch your next 6 figures, right? If you're already hitting 6 figures, let's work on your next 6 figures. If you're already hitting 200 grand, let's work on your 300 grand. Let's hit that number, right? And it's all the same stuff. It's just from a different perspective, right? So if you're a more seasoned veteran, then I'll help you get to that next level. But if you're a new guy and you haven't hit your six figures yet, or if you're in the industry for the last 3 years and you only pulled in $30, $40, $50,000, the industry average, then no problem. Six figures is actually not hard to get in this. You just have to have enough volume to do it.
When I first opened my brokerage, there was the first year I remember, I'll never forget it, was watching the 1099s, and some of the income was like 18,000, 24,000, 34,000. I was like, oh my gosh. And I really wasn't aware of how much the agents struggle out there, because I'm always hustling. I'm not going to live like that, but they do. And I think it's amazing that you offer a challenge like this, because you don't have to. I mean, you're literally putting yourself out there every single day. You're committing to be available every single day to help these people so that they can live a better life.
Well, the industry's been so good to me. It's been so good to me. And I know you feel the same way too. Like, pay it forward, again, money and freedom and everything that you want out of your life and out of your business. It all comes from serving others. It all comes from helping other people. And money's a byproduct, doing all the right things every day. So yeah, I'm putting it out there. I used to do this just exclusively for my own teams, but it's so interesting how much I'm learning and growing just by working with people like you. And I want to level up my game. So who you grow with matters. Well, you can't grow in a bubble, right? So I need to get out there and talk to people and engage with people and help them grow so that I can grow too.
Yeah. So I would imagine once you're allowed to travel again or go back and forth and out, you will be, right? Yes. Come on. Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'm dying. Like, I know that people are like, oh, you live on the lake in a little stone cottage. That's nice, but it's a little stone jail cell if you're home all the time, right? And it's 1,000 square feet. It's tiny home living. That's how we roll. But I love to travel. I love adventures. I love to go. Like, I'm actually looking at Costa Rica right now to spend New Year's Eve down there and do a bit of a retreat with the team and things like that. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to do it, but again, with all the travel restrictions, you never know. So yeah, can't wait for that loosen up.
Find out about your challenge. Where can they go to sign up for this? And we'll put it in the comments too, but tell them where it is.
Thanks. It's actually really easy. All you got to do is go to megamomentumchallenge.com. That's right behind me, megamomentumchallenge.com. Just go there. It's free, right? Just sign up, free. You get into the group, into the private Facebook group that we do. Servant leaders like Tricia are already in the group. Guest speakers like Tricia, myself, and other guest speakers are in the group. Everybody that's in the challenge are in the group too. And we just collaborate, work together. And yeah, you can start the challenge halfway through because I put everything into the group. So all of the workshops that we've done, all the past challenges that we've done, even the points. I had somebody join the other day, like 3 days ago, and they're already halfway up the leaderboard because they just caught up.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no perfect time. Just do it. Get started.
Just do it.
Got to get busy. Hey,
Right.
your thoughts are for 2021 in the real estate industry? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited because anytime that there's major change, there's major opportunity. And God knows we're right in the middle of major, major, major change. How people do business, how they show properties, how they sell homes, how we operate as agents, as team leaders, right? Having access to systems like EXP, like a super brokerage that is like literally a platform you can plug your business into. I'm just excited. I'm excited. I grab my surfboard. I'm catching the wave. I'm just excited to see what happens. There's nothing that's going to stop EXP or the real estate industry as a whole, right? So even if we have to go completely virtual, we all figured it out real fast how to sell homes virtually, right? So that's what we'll do. So I'm excited because anytime there's major change, there's major opportunity for people to step up their game and to take some market share.
So what's your thoughts on this Zillow thing that everyone's talking about? Are you concerned about it at all? Do you guys feel Zillow there at all in Canada?
No, we don't. We do have similar kind of companies that have tapped into the ability to tap into our data, which is basically what Zillow does. We've got other companies up here that do the same thing, but a lot of the agents, like when it first started happening, actually, agents were sweating it because we had a big company come into town. It was called Comfrey at the time, and it's been sold multiple times. But it was Comfrey at the time, and they dumped like millions of dollars into advertising and marketing into our local space, into a small town, billboards everywhere. At one time, they had 300 160 some odd listings. All the agents were just like, oh my God, the sky is falling. And I'm like, it's not going to fall. We're going to adapt. We're going to figure it out. And the people that learn how to serve clients in today's space, they're going to win all the mind share and market share. So it just creates opportunity. I think that it creates a tremendous amount of opportunity for all agents to do things just a little different than everybody else. Differentiate yourself.
I think more than ever, relationships matter now. People are yearning for that. They're hungry for it. They don't want to just be a client. They want to be a relationship.
No, and that's, you know what, I'm glad that you spoke about that, because I actually talked to a bunch of the old school realtors, right? And they're starting to call me and say, so Dustin, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, you're growing, your team's doing really well, you're going crazy, and you're part of EXP that is, in Canada, it's still newer, right? Not a tried and true old school brokers that has all that brand and that market share and the territories and things like that. And I'm like, you know what? The consumer doesn't care anymore. They don't care what flag you wave. They care about you. They care about what you deliver as a human to another human being, as a service professional. They don't care that you've got all of this behind you. You care about that, but they don't care. They just care about the results that you're able to give them. So I'm like, even in my market where we still have those really, really entrenched old school brands, it's not a thing. The consumer doesn't care. I'm seeing people move over from old school brands. Like, half my team is actually from some of those brands, right? And they've been able to pick it up so fast. It hasn't stopped them. It hasn't slowed them down. Not even close.
No, and if you think about it, it's like people don't really watch TV very much anymore. They're watching Netflix and YouTube and stuff. And so you're not seeing all these advertisements that you used to see years ago, all these paid advertisements. So the balloon is gone. You don't hear of the balloon very much anymore. It's kind of like unspoken here anyway. It's like, what's that?
Yeah, we still see a little bit of that, but that's during recruitment season or during the heavy hot markets. They'll go on the radio and things like that. But it's just like everybody else. Everybody does exactly the same thing. No, I'm not seeing it as an advantage anymore. Actually, I just proved it. I just moved from a brand that I built from scratch and carved out some serious market share in my local space. Moved over, and in less than a year, already a top performing team already.
I love it. And then you are sharing all that knowledge with all these people. I think that is super cool. Thanks. Tell everybody again where to find it. Tell them where the website is.
You can go to megamomentumchallenge.com. Just register. It's completely free, and we'll have fun making money together.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here today, Dustin.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. It's super fun.
Once we get to travel, I'll actually get to meet you in person.
Oh, yeah. I'm coming down to Texas.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh yeah, I'm for sure. I got to hit the American Southwest. I definitely want a road trip. I want to go through Utah, and I just love history and I love ruins and things like that. So I just want to explore.
I'm with you there. Thanks so much for being here. You guys have a great day.
All right. You too. Thanks, Tricia.
Bye.